Prosecutor Fatu Bensouda blamed the Kenyan government's non-cooperation for the collapse of her case against President Uhuru Kenyatta. In November 2013, she asked the trial chamber to find Kenya non-compliant on grounds that the state had failed to honor her request for cooperation by failing to submit phone and bank records belonging to Kenyatta.
Indeed, the trial chamber determined that Kenya had failed to cooperate, notwithstanding the chamber's concerns regarding the adequacy of the prosecutor's approach to litigation.
Following the finding, Bensouda expected that the trial chamber would refer the matter of Kenya's non-compliance to the Assembly of State Parties, but the chamber declined. She appealed.
The appeals chamber considers that if the trial chamber was uncertain about the importance of the potential evidence, it is unclear why it concluded that the lack of the requested evidence prevented it from exercising its functions.
Further, presiding judge Sylvia Fernandez de Gourmendi noted that the trial chamber went wrong by making the criminal proceedings against Kenyatta and the non-compliance proceedings against the state one and the same. This, the appeal chamber says, appears to have affected the trial chamber's consideration of whether judicial remedies had been exhausted or whether there was still a possibility that Kenya would cooperate.
In this regard, the appeals chamber recalls that the trial chamber stated that it considered it appropriate to decide on the prosecutor's request because, quote, allowing a further adjournment would be contrary to the interest of justice under the circumstances, rather than because the chamber finds there to be no possibility of further cooperation, end of quote.
The trial chamber is now expected to determine afresh whether Kenya indeed failed to comply with a cooperation request that prevented the court from exercising its functions and powers, and decide, if that is the case, whether or not to refer the matter to the ASP. Sylvia Tibet for Citizen Business Center.